Hello, and don't worry, today is going to be a great day. Alright, day 2 of Nanowrimo has officially ended. I ended up writing 776 words today, creating a total of 2,254 words on my project. If you go into my stats, you can see here, I have a 2-day streak so far, and it's there. So it should be at 3,334. I'm currently at 2,254. So I'm still a little bit behind, but I'm still making progress, which is good. My word count did go down kind of by half around. It says at this rate, I'll be done on December 15th. Today was actually election day, and my entire family went and voted together because we're all over 18 now. Then my parents went out for their anniversary, so my sister and I got some food and stayed in and watched Supernatural. So by the time everything was said and done and I got upstairs to actually start writing, it ended up being like 9:30. So I only had a couple hours really to write, and I couldn't really think. It took me a while today to kind of get in the zone. So much so that I wrote more words after midnight than I wrote before midnight. I'm done for the night. It's now 2:30 a.m. I'm done for the night in terms of writing, but I just wrote over 800 words after midnight. And like a second half of that session, I am not going to be updating my word count because, as I discussed in my last video, I think I'm going to prefer to update the entire day at once so that I don't have to worry about figuring out if I already counted words or didn't. So we won't be able to see where that goes until later tomorrow. But I did just write over 800 more words. I am getting there with chapter 1. I'm starting to remember what it was like drafting The Power Revolution. I haven't drafted in a year. Like, I finished The Power Revolution, the first draft of it, in October of last year. So I sort of forgot how I write and the little things that I tend to change. And yeah, I tend to change a lot of details from my outline. My outline is very much a zero draft for me, where I run through the story one full time essentially without fully running through the story, and then my first draft builds on that and changes any details that just kind of feel like they need to change, or if I had any holes I hadn't thought of before. And sometimes filling out those details creates holes that I hadn't anticipated as well. So not necessarily like a giant plot hole that my outlining missed, but more of I write a piece of dialogue to act as a bullet point and realize there needs to be something between that and the next bullet point in order to transition through peacefully. So I won't go into example, but I've written in a few characters into this first chapter that are going to end up being way more significant than I intended. Like, I intended this first chapter to be 99% throwaway characters, but yesterday, so on the first day of Nano, I already decided the one character is going to be significant and come back in the third book. If I didn't mention, this is going to be a trilogy, and I know I want to bring the one character back in the third book to kind of wrap it up, but I ended up writing in another character to add to the story. And to do that, I wrote in a third character, and I ended up filling a gap I didn't think I would need. I guess the good thing about not having my outline finished yet is that I can make decisions like this and write them into the future. So yeah, that is my word count for day 2, and I will see you tomorrow, where I will hopefully make even more progress during the day and not just have 800 words. Okay, so I was reviewing footage. I'm in the middle of editing for this vlog, and I just reviewed this entire clip, and then I listened to this. It sounds like whispering, but I can't remember if I whispered or not. So now I have chills So I'm gonna insert the audio once normally as I hear it here, like through my headphones, And then I'm going to try and bump the audio up a little bit, like full volume if possible. Tell me what you think it says, because I honestly don't remember like just whispering into the camera as I went to turn it off. But there's definitely someone whispering on here. What do you hear? I have no idea what it's saying, and I have no idea if I ended up saying it. So help me out, please. Please. Have a few boxes down there for the truck. Use a light, and I need to get this done as quietly as possible to not wake anyone. I still have one more box to go. Okay, it's been a few days since I gave you a word count update. Today was Friday the 5th, and I wrote a little over 2,000 words today, which brings my total up to 6,795. I'm supposed to be at 8,335. So I'm still like 1,500 off, give or take. I made up a lot of the chunk that was there yesterday. I anticipate my word count for tomorrow to go down again, because it's my father's birthday and I'm cooking him a meal from scratch tomorrow that will literally take all day. That being said, I will have a lot less time to write tomorrow, and not only that, but I will probably be tired from having to get up early to cook it for him, which should also reduce my word count. So it's part of the reason why I wrote over 2,000 words today, was to try and make up for a word count tomorrow. The past couple days I've been doing a little bit of writing after midnight that adds to that daily word count, which has been giving me really good results. As you see over here, I wrote 900 words and 13,000 compared to the 700 that I wrote the one day that I didn't do anything right after midnight. But I am not going to do that tonight because I'm just not in the mood right now, so I'd rather go do something a little bit relaxing and then just get back to this tomorrow. I don't know why this isn't updating, because it's not. I've written every day, so it should be days in a row, but it's just not updating. Here's my daily word count in bar graph form. So as you can see, it's like a high and a low. That seems to be my pattern. My average word count is now to 1,359 words per day. And at this rate, I'll be done on December 7th, which is actually my birthday. I have actually finished all of chapter 1 yesterday before I went to bed, but it was after midnight I finished it, so I got about 400 more words in last night, which ended that chapter. They were counted in today's word count, and I got a start on chapter 2. I'm really only a couple bulleted points into my chapter 2 outline, but it was a smaller chapter, and for some reason it still feels like I'm a good chunk of the way into chapter 2. Okay, scratch that, I just checked. Turns out I'm halfway through my bulleted points, and I'm 7 pages in. So, yeah, I'm pretty far into chapter 2 already, which is really nice, but I have not outlined chapter 3 yet. So that's also going to slow me down, but I don't think that'll be an issue for tomorrow, since I still have a good half of the chapter left, and I'm probably not going to finish the chapter tomorrow just because of my time constraints I already know I'm going to have. With that said, if my trend progresses, on Sunday the 8th I should have a high word count day, but I don't know how that's going to turn out because I'm going to have to do a lot of outlining on Tuesday. In other progress, I've been doing a lot of name research to try and find names for some of my other characters, and I think the next main character that I hadn't had named, I think I've decided on a name for him. So that's good. My main character, I am still not 100% set on her name. I really like it. Both my mom and my sister didn't like it, so I've been kind of pulling around to see what people are thinking, and people are kind of split, maybe a little bit more towards the not liking it side, which isn't good, but at the same time, I really like it. So tell me, what do you think of the name Inca? Like I said, I think it's an adorable little name, and I think it's fun, and it fits my character, but I just don't feel like anyone likes it but me. It is currently the 7th of November, and I wrote 737 words, which ended up being more than I thought I was going to get. I did a lot of outlining work today. I outlined the rest of Chapter 3 as well as all of Chapter 4. I also got more names for most of my characters now, and that ended up taking a very long time. I'm still not very happy with any of the names, I'm not set on them 100%, but at least I have a name to refer to them within this draft of the book. That just ended up taking forever because I really like my names to have some sort of significance. And because of that, I end up Googling for names and then literally scrolling through lists for a very long time trying to find the one I like, Yesterday was the 6th. I did not write much at all. I ended up writing only 252 words, and that was only within a half hour of work, if that, right before bed. I ended up cooking most of the day because my dad wanted me to make him homemade spaghetti and meatballs. And when I say homemade, I mean from the tomatoes. And I tend to cook that all day. And because of that, I was around the stove, hovering, doing stuff almost all the day. And when I wasn't doing stuff, I was spending time with him because it was his birthday. If we look down here, you can see it was really low, and today wasn't too much better, but so my average word count is now to 1,112 words per day, and it says I'll be done on December 15th. So yeah, I have a lot of progress left to make, but again, I have been spending a lot more time on my outlines, so that writing my chapters will take less time and be a little bit easier. I'm probably also going to work on outline as well tomorrow. We'll see where my word count ends up being. I think I have a few chores I have to do tomorrow as well, so that will be in the next video because it is officially the end of week 1. That's going to be it, and for now, a smiley farewell, and always remember, nothing is ever only one thing.